Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. In this episode, we will be reviewing the books that came out of Marvel Comics the week of
September 17, 2014.
And there weren't that many Marvel books this week, actually. No. You know what I noticed, though? A lot of times with Marvel, I feel like I'm reading the same book over and over again. With all the double-up, I mean, apparently we're the lucky ones, and the books that we're reading are the double-up books. I feel like I'm going from All New X-Men, and then like 2 weeks from now I'm going to be reading it again. I don't know, I just don't, I mean, as much as I love Spider-Man doubling up, which he isn't right now, he will be starting, I think, November again. But for right now, Spider-Man's not doubling up. But a double up of Spider-Man I could take. A double up of one or two of my other books I could take. But when it comes to 4 and 5 books that are doubled up, that's where I start to say, geez, this is where I got to really start thinking about where my cuts are going to be. And I have a few cut ideas that are going to be happening possibly if they continue the double ups.
Well, same with me also.
It's too much money, too much everything. So let's waste no time and get into the books this week. And they're not in any specific order, by the way. This week it's literally, we have 8 books, so I just threw them in any order, except I did leave the Spider-Man books for last for obvious reasons. All New X-Men, issue number 32. The All New X-Men are waking up in different places in the Ultimate Universe. The main focal point, however, is Jean Grey and Miles Morales. Show you guys some artwork of that.
Oh, Miles Morales.
Jean is trying to figure out where she is. You got Iceman, who's in Mole Man's territory underground. X-23 ends up in a football field. You got Beast that shows up in Latveria, or however you pronounce it. So anyway, Jean probes Miles' mind to make out of where she is and who he is and everything like that. And she realizes she's in a different universe. The artwork in this book is actually pretty good. I really do like the artwork in this book. But really, it was a point A to point B book. Jean's trying to figure out how to get back to her universe, because now not only is she in a different time, she's in a different dimension.
Right.
So you have all the other X-Men minus Jean trying to find their way back to New York, or find out where they are and find a way back somewhere. And then you have Jean, who's with Spider-Man, aka Miles, and he knows of a place that S.H.I.E.L.D. has that has the portal that goes back and forth through the universes, through Spider-Man and everything. And it turns out that portal's gone. So the scientist basically says, I think you better get used to the fact that you're stuck here. So now Jean is stuck, and now the X-Men are stuck in the Ultimate Universe. Will they stay there, though? Most likely not. I mean, I think this will last for a story arc, and then they'll go back. Marvel has been crossing over a lot now with the Ultimate Universe. It was always, when the Ultimate Universe was created, that was the one universe, and the Marvel Universe, the 616 universe, is the 616 universe. Ever since Spider-Man, little bits at a time, we have crossovers for it. So it was Spider-Man, then it was Hunger, which the Galactus went to the Ultimate Universe.
Or Galactus. That one.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean.
I know, I'm just explaining to them.
And now we've got the all-new X-Men crossing over. I mean, I understand the Ultimate Universe is really going through the shitter right now, minus Miles Morales Spider-Man, which is freaking awesome, and we'll talk about that soon. But I don't know.
Oh. And Marvel must have heard you with Avengers World issue number 13.
Well, it's about damn time.
The dragon is in it.
About damn time.
But for not good reasons. Yeah. In this story, actually, I could really sum it up. It's really about, well, here's some artwork, and here's the dragon, by the way.
Dragon is good.
And it just talks about Director Jing, who is the leader of the Spear Corporation. He talks about the Ascendants, and he goes to, I guess her name's Double N. And he asks her to, that she, you know how Nick Fury came in saying to join the Ascendant Initiative, so basically she wants her to join this team, and this was back then, to fight off against the invasions of what's going on. And she says, I will agree as long as I make my own team. Then they talk about how Devastator joined, of what his choice was. And then they have Grace Tame, aka Vector, who joins the team. And it just goes back and forth of it's really how the Ascendant got together. And here's the thing you're going to like. At the end of this book, they're going to use a certain technology. And with desperate times calls for desperate measures, guess who's going to face the dragon? Shang-Chi with pimp growth. Oh boy. Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu and everything. This is going to be interesting.
I was just going to say that's going to be very interesting.
I am definitely looking forward to getting the next issue to see him just just beam the dragon so that way he could stop talking about this dragon.
Nova issue 21. Sam is helping his mom move at the beginning of this issue. They got a new apartment. He's going to be late for school. However, he has one other stop he wants to make. The artwork in this book kind of... it's okay. It's just a little... I don't want to say cartoony, a little misproportioned at times, I guess you could say. It's a very unique style. I didn't say it was bad. Did I say it was bad? I said it's a unique style. So, Sam shows up on the planet where his father's being held captive and he's like a gladiator. Turns out, though, his father was a little bit ahead of him because he actually found a way off the planet. He actually led himself as well as other gladiators he fought side by side with to freedom. So Sam made it there a bit too late. So now Sam has to find the ship and where his dad is. However, he goes back to Earth. He misses a whole day of school, unfortunately, and then the next day they show him at school, and unfortunately, here's a spoiler alert if you want, he gets expelled.
It's just like when people got fired from the Daily Bugle. Now he gets expelled from school.
So, I don't know, this issue felt more like a transition issue, if anything else, because really it's just taking up where the last issue left off. Now he knew where his father was, he went after his father. His father already left. And then he's back home, he has a new house, he's living in a new place now with his mom and his sister, and he misses a full day of school. He was warned if he did that he was going to be expelled, and now he is expelled. So I feel like it's like, okay, in between story 1 and story 2, maybe? So maybe now we'll get into a different story, or we'll still have Sam out in space trying to find his dad, dealing with being expelled from school. I don't know, but this was a nice issue. The cover, I gotta say, these covers, they keep making Sam look older and older. That looks like an adult Nova.
Actually, yeah, it does. I thought you were reading the adult comic at first, but then seeing a kid, then yeah.
Continuing along, Daredevil issue number 8. Mark Waid continues to knock it out of the park. This is set up for the next story, of course. But we have, I forgot what his name was.
Jamie?
No, Jamie. There's these children that were abducted, or they're children of, and I want to get his name. It should be here. Kilgrave, I was right. It turns out Kilgrave, he has this ability, his psychic ability, I'm sure a few of you guys know it. He had several children with several different women and had them forget about it, and then he went to go collect them years later, because no matter what, he wanted to always have a family, yada yada. You get some moments with Matt and his new girl and his girlfriend Kristen. Kristen goes to see her father. Her father's interesting, I will say that. Read the book and you'll understand why. Daredevil gets called in because there was, I believe it was a killing, and this one witness saw what happened, and it turned out the witness is one of Kilgrave's kids. And that's where you see him talking with the children, saying, you know, he had them all because he wanted to feel love. He gives them, he said, you have freedom, you don't have to listen to me, I'm not ordering you. It's not an order to love me, I want you to think on your own, I want you to resist my power and everything, you know. And they already are. And spoiler alert here, they actually kill him. Or we think they kill him. And then they head off to, go figure, to L.A. Very good setup. I can't wait to see the next issue where Daredevil has to deal with these kids now with psychic abilities exactly like Kilgrave.
That's going to be
very interesting.
Mental stuff.
Dialogue is definitely worth a read. I didn't tell you guys anything that happened dialogue-wise because it's a really good book. Mark Waid's doing an awesome job with this.
And my book of the week from Marvel, All New X Factor, issue number 14. And the cover says it all. They have like this girl out thing, you know, where Polaris, or Lorna actually, sees her sister Wanda, or her half-sister, so she says. Artwork is just amazing every single time I read it. And you know what the thing is? They all want her to join the Avengers. And she says, you know, I want to stay here because X Factor is, you know, where she belongs. Then we get introduced to these two characters. If you want to see what it is, read the book. Danger, Polaris, and Wanda, they go out and have a girls out thing. And, you know, they're just having a good time. There's this Black Knight show that goes on, and, you know, they think that's all for play, and Danger says it's not, and they basically go in to save the whole thing of what's going on. Danger saves the girl from the fire, and Polaris, who was about to kill this robot that this girl loved, didn't actually, because she said not to do it. And here's the thing, actually, and wait till you hear this. Later they go at the bar, and Wanda tells Lorna that Pedro was the one that was being sent to spy on her. You know, when him and Havoc had that, and then she goes, wait, what? Oh, boy. And that's her brother, by the way.
I know.
So
half-brother.
Half-brother, so... Oh boy, Pedro's got lots of explaining to do, and this book has lots of explaining to get in there. Book of the week.
A book that doesn't want to go away.
Yeah, I mean, first it was Gambit, now Pedro's in trouble. Oh my god, this is going to be a frenzy thing that might either make or break the team. I don't know.
Alright, so the rest of the review, it's all Spider-Man. Starting off with the Ultimate Universe, Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 5. You have Peter Parker Spider-Man, you have Miles Morales Spider-Man, you got Green Goblin. Green Goblin escaped. So that leaves the two Spideys to deal with the law enforcement. And Pete's like, we're going to have to run. This isn't going to end good. They're going to want to take our masks off. So we got to leave. And Miles is like, you took my web shooter, so I have no way out. He's like, you can camouflage yourself. Do that. Miles does. And Pete ends up swinging away. However, Miles ends up getting shot. Buddy gets saved by, I forgot what her name was. Oh God, come on. Was it? I don't remember who it is. Oh, Maria Hill.
Oh, Director Hill.
But he says Maggie at the beginning, so I don't know who it is. Anyway, she was one of the people that was saved by Spider-Man. And that's why she went into law enforcement. She knows that Miles is Spider-Man. She wants to get to the bottom of what's going on, why, if this is the real Peter Parker. We find out who the two people are that they think are pretending to be Spider-Man, or the Spider-Men. And they have this huge list of things that they have to steal. There's somebody they're working for. Basically, that leaves us in the dark. We don't know who they're working for, why, or anything. Miles gets patched up, and they want to find Peter Parker now. You got Green Goblin, who has a sit-down talk with J. Jonah Jameson, which was a very interesting segment there, where he claims that Miles' thing kind of woke him up a little bit, or snapped him out of a little bit of what's going on, and he's starting to feel remorse for certain things he's done, and then he wants to make everybody pay for what they made him do. I'm not going to spoil the ending there. And then the ending has Miles at MJ's house looking for Pete, and Pete's there, and he's like, MJ, let him in. It's time we filled him in on what's going on. And Norman Osborn actually mentioned that the serum, the Oz serum, actually allows it prevents death in a way, or it regenerates. So it's quite the possibility that this is the Peter Parker. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it is yet, because if it turns out it's not, after so long of saying it has to be a clone, it has to be something else, I don't want to be proven wrong right after I say, oh, it's the real Peter Parker. So we'll have to wait and see if it is the actual legitimate Peter Parker, but interesting book still. I'm really enjoying it. And Marvel, if you don't get new printers for your comics, I swear to God.
Oh my God, it's really like something else.
I mean, you see the finger print, right?
Yep.
Continuing along, you shut your mouth. The Superior Spider-Man, the final issue now. Issue number 30, you keep screaming. Issue number 33. With the next issue, I believe, of Spider-Verse, we will officially be halfway through the series. Yeah, Spider-Verse 3 will be halfway through the series. So you got Superior Spider-Man and his group of Spider-Men going up against Fishbowl Head.
Oh, wow.
As they call him. And it turns out he does have a name. His name is...
The only person I can think of that has a fishbowl has Mysterio.
Where was it? I forgot his name already, really? But it turns out his siblings show up to try to help because it turns out Spider-Man and his crew of Spider-Men actually were beating up on him. And then it turns out his brother and sister show up and they kind of save the day in a way, and Superior Spider-Man kind of causes a distraction and he's able to get all the Spider-Men out of there. I want to get his name. Oh well, we'll get... Oh, Karn. Who's also a brother to the person who's supposed to be coming back also, who's been teased in Amazing Spider-Man. I forgot his name already. Morlun. Anyway, you got Doc Ock who's saying, you know, there's no other Spider-Man like me because he's so unique, because we all know it's really Doc Ock in there. They're making plans on what if he ends up coming to 2099 where all the Spider-Men are. Doc's starting to worry. He finally comes up with a plan, and him and two other Spider-Men who actually have no problem killing or fighting against the other Spider-Men if need be, make a pact that no matter what, they're going to win this fight and everybody's going to go home, even if it means killing. And then the next story you get a rundown of who Karn is and why he looks and is the way he is. And I'm not going to spoil any of that because you can read that in this issue. All in all, for $5 though, it's a pretty steep price that they're asking for this book, because I mean, it does focus on Doc Ock and it does focus on what's going on in the multiverse of Spider-Man right now, but for $5 you do get extra pages, you get that extra story that gives you more background on Karn, but at the same time, pushing your luck, Marvel. Really pushing it, especially because September, you guys OD'd on $5 books. I mean, literally OD'd. With Death of Wolverine, this, Avengers, New Avengers, Thor. Anyway, speaking of Spider-Verse, let's go to the Edge of the Spider-Verse with Edge of the Spider-Verse, issue number 2, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman. And you get her... Yeah, I got something in my throat.
You got Pepsi?
I'll be alright. We get it between the reviews. And you get her origin, and I like how she's part of the MJs, and their hit song is Face It Tiger.
Oh, yeah.
And you also find out what happens to Peter Parker in this universe. Apparently he dies, he becomes the Lizard, and he just wanted to be like Gwen, who was Spider-Woman. And of course J. Jonah Jameson blames Spider-Woman for Peter Parker's death. Gwen is dealing with a lot, you know, being Spider-Woman and everything. Her father has vowed to bring her in. It's just basically her dealing with being Spider-Woman. And at the middle of this issue, actually, at one of her concerts, her father is there in attendance. And Matt Murdock actually sends this guy after her father to stop him from harassing Spider-Woman, because she's actually a good person, yada yada. Read the book, it's really twisted. But anyway, Spider-Woman stops him, but then her father tries to stop her. It turns out he finds out that she's Spider-Woman. The artwork in this book's really good. I really dig the Gwen Stacy book. I really like it. I like the costume. I like the story. I dare say that this would make a nice little standalone Elseworld mini-series possibly at some point. But anyway, turns out one of the Spider-Men from the Spider-Verse has been watching, and it says Gwen Stacy will return in Amazing Spider-Man number 9, which is not even in this part of the checklist.
Really? Oh, maybe it's not Spider-Verse related.
Maybe not. Maybe she'll end up in the 616.
It could have been a one-time deal for that one. That'll lead into maybe in a month or two.
Maybe. But anyway, all in all, I really did enjoy this book. It was nice to see Gwen Stacy as a Spider person. I've really been loving everything that's Spider-Verse related. By the way, Superior Spider-Man is also Edge of the Spider-Verse. Ultimate Spider-Man is still not involved and probably won't be involved in Spider-Verse at all because it's got its own problems going on. But all in all, I really did enjoy this issue. I definitely recommend it. I'm loving Spider-Verse, and I'm looking forward to when it finally hits Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And with that, that's it for this review, guys. Don't forget to check out comic-related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Feel free to leave your comments below, and we will answer them in the comment section below. And with that, that's it. So take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys in the next review.
Hey, everybody.